Lovely morning. Except it's not. It's pouring with rain. Right, let me move everything around because I'm back with another box. Let's get this puppy open. I have got my headphones on today because they have my little mic. The last video, I feel like you couldn't hear me properly. So I've got to remember not to shout, otherwise I'm going to blow everybody apart. I apologise now. Maybe turn your volume down a little bit this time, but I will try. I will try and not make too much noise. Which would be a miracle, because to be quite honest, the outfit is loud enough today. For some reason, tonight, Matthew, I have come as a Blue Peter presenter circa 1983. Don't ask me why, but that's how I roll, baby. Right. Now, I really should be good with this because I have tidied up-ish. I'm not going to. Right. Right, where do I begin? Start with what's on the top. Very, very important. Sensible literature going on here. Buddhism for sheep. Annette, I'm looking at you for this one. Buddhism of sheep. Oh my God. I mean, I bought this on such a whim, but it's so worth it. I'm not even going to... Right. Yes. Oh, and it's illustrated. Yeah, see, it's illustrated by Chris Riddle. And if you don't know Chris Riddle, he does the most amazing, beautiful... I was going to say mildly gothic, and I suppose they are gothic, but not in a kind of like an emo gothic kind of way. They're just beautiful and sort of spindly and lovely and just really, really nice. He's done a few others, and he's actually currently doing A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that's coming out really soon, like within the next month. And I've ordered a few of those. So if you're into hitchhikers, or you're into Chris Riddle, or you're into anything like that, you will want one of those because they're awesome. So that's that. Looks like we've got... Oh, another Maya Angelou. Excellent. So slowly I'm picking up her whole oeuvre. I do love Maya Angelou. If you haven't looked her up on YouTube yet, that's your next project. If you haven't done your homework by the time my next video comes, I will start putting links to her stuff in my videos because everybody should hear Maya Angelou speak. Right. I don't know where to go next, to be honest. Oh. Katie Ford. Katie Ford. We all know and love Katie Ford. And I have a few of hers now. I'm just looking at the back of this one. It's not this one, it's another one. But I have a couple, one of which I think is set up here. So that's coming. But I wanted to get a few Katie Fords because... Can I reach it? I have in very, very limited supply. And you can't have this one because it's mine. Book plates signed by Ms. Katie Ford to go with the book. So I have very limited supply. So if you buy one of her books and I still have any left and you want a book plate, then you can say, please, 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 can I have a book plate? And you will have a book plate to go with it. So there we go. So this one is a Springtime Affair. I think this is her recent. I think this is one of her very, 2020, first published in paperback 2021. So this is her latest one. Jilly owns her own B&B business from her much-loved family home, which she doesn't want to part with at any price. But then she meets handsome estate agent Leo, and soon she begins to wonder whether selling up might not be such a bad idea after all. Meanwhile, her daughter Helena, a talented weaver, has become close to her new landlords who's offered to help her at an upcoming craft fair. It's what friends do, and they are just friends, aren't they? With spring in full bloom, Helena and Jilly begin to ask themselves the same question. Is this a real thing or just a springtime affair? I mean, how can you not have a springtime affair in spring? So there we go. I think there's more in here. But we shall have to wait and see. Now these, I have no idea whether people are going to be interested in these or not, but I thought they were a little bit different. This is, where have you gone? There we go. You just disappeared. Sorry. This is a series of books based around a cathedral. So it's sort of Christian fiction, I suppose, but like not Bible bashing. It's literally just the same as all the others, except that the backdrop is a cathedral and its staff and its bishops and whatever else you get in a cathedral, and the politics of it, but not politics like, somebody made a bad cake kind of politics. We're not in anything heavy here, people. So there's about 4 of them, and I just thought some people are interested in that kind of thing, and it's another angle, and it could be quite interesting. So there's a few of those. I'm not particularly religious, so I don't find it that easy to talk on the subject, and it's not really religious, I don't think. I was reading the synopsis, and it's mainly just village politics like you get normally. It is literally who is going to be the new manager of whatever. So it's not, heavy God Squad. I just thought it was a different environment and actually could be quite interesting as a backdrop. Otherwise, they can all get a little bit samey. This one is slightly different. Okay, let's do your stupid idea. I just thought this sounded interesting. Patrick Frayne has tried a lot of stupid ideas in his life. Now, in his scintillating debut, he is here to tell you about them, like the time age 5 he opened a gate and let a horse out of its field just to see what would happen, or the time age 19 he jumped out of a plane for charity, even though he didn't much care about the charity and was sure he'd end up dead, or the time, aged old enough to know better, he used a magazine as a funnel for fuel when the petrol cap on his van's van broke. Band's van broke. Do you know, I've been seeing on TikTok. This is not going to go well because I can't even say the word TikTok. There's a tongue twister going around, and it's a box of mixed biscuits in a mixed biscuit box, I think. And everybody's having real trouble with it. And I was like sitting there going, a box of mixed biscuits in a mixed biscuit box. But then I can't read band's fan broke. So I can't exactly be smug, can I? He has also learned a few things about the power of group song, about the beauty of physically caring for another human being, about childlessness, about losing friends far too young. Life is seen through the eyes of Patrick Frayne, who's stranger, funnier, and a lot more interesting than life as we generally know it. I just thought this was a really interesting... I think this could be a really interesting read. It's, from what I gather, it's kind of a... I don't really know how you would describe it, but just a little section of stories about his life that show I have the best words. I like books like this, especially when they're about people that I don't particularly know a lot about, because it just gives you insight into another human being's perspective on things, and especially when it's about just taking slightly alternative decisions. You can get very caught in life in a real tunnel, like what you're expected to do. Like I, for one, at one point, cut my entire back lawn with a bread knife because I got so sick of the length of the grass and because the ground was too lumpy for the really dirt cheap lawnmower we had, and I was getting so sick of trying to wait for somebody else to come around and fix it. I just went out there with a serrated bread knife and grabbed bits of grass and just cut it off. And it did the job enough that then the lawnmower was able to cope with it. So for me, that was a win. But I should think while I was doing it, or most people that I tell that I did that would think I'm a complete lunatic. But sometimes actually thinking slightly to the left or the right of where you might be expected to go can sometimes be a good idea. That's a whole nother story. I've also walked around an entire supermarket with no shoes because I'd chosen a really, really bad pair of shoes to wear and they were killing my feet. So I just padded about in my stocking feet the entire way around. It's absolutely fine. It's all indoors when you think about it. And again, it like most people were like, you can't do that. But actually, what is to stop you doing that? It meant I managed to get my shopping done without getting any worse blisters. And I can't see any reason why not. I don't know why I've brought that up. But the point is, I think sometimes it's good to know that you can actually just do slightly odd things if it gets the job done or if you want to. It's not going to hurt anybody. And it's okay. And that's how I end up in an outfit like this. Actually, I love this outfit. So there we go. Anyway, I'm going to move on before I attempt to be philosophical. Because we all know I can't do philosophical. Heidi Swain, The Cherry Tree Cafe. Cozy fiction. Yeah, see, she goes back to her village that she grew up in. Her best friend Gemma is delighted Lizzie has come home, and as she's just bought a little cafe, and Lizzie's sewing skills are just what she needs to help prepare for the grand opening. With a new venture and a new home, things are looking much brighter for Lizzie, but can she get over her broken heart, and will an old flame reignite a love from long ago? I love anything vaguely to do with cafes or crafting or anything. And I mean, it's all pretty, it's got cherry blossoms all over it. Can you tell I'm really excited for spring? Kate and Clara's Curious Cornish Craft Shop. Yes, I am getting an entire section of crafting related stuff. Books, because I'm in that kind of mood. Welcome to the glorious little Cornish town of St. Felix, where romance and magic sparkle in the air. Kate thinks all her wishes have come true when she opens her own craft shop in the idyllic harbour town. But she soon finds a mystery lingers in her new shop, a 60-year-old love story told through beautiful paintings and intricate embroideries. Jack, the owner of the nearby art shop, volunteers to help Kate unravel the mystery. But in doing so, they realise their own lives share some uncanny similarities with Clara and Artie, their 1950s counterparts. Can Kate and Jack put right the decades-old wrong and maybe find their own happy ending along the way? And it's all, like, embossed as well. I do love a nice book with a feely cover. There you go, there's that one. Oh, there's another Springtime Affair. Hey, wouldn't be one of these without some Agatha Raisin. Oh, wait, there we go. Agatha Raisin and the Perfect Paragon. And Agatha Raisin, Something Borrowed, Someone Dead. Incomer Gloria French is at first welcomed to the Cotswold village. She seems like a do-gooder par excellence, raising funds for the church and caring for the elderly. But she has a bad habit of borrowing things and not giving them back. So when she is discovered dead, poisoned by a bottle of elderberry wine, folk in the village don't mourn her passing too intently. Love a bit of cosy crime, as we all know. Right, here's more of that cathedral series. This one, I believe, is the first one, Acts and Omissions. Oh, best-selling author of Realms of Glory. Oh, maybe it's not. There are about 4. Please hold while I do my job, which I should have done before I started. Don't know. Welcome to the fictional Diocese of Lindchester. Prepare yourself for a bumpy and hilarious ride from the rarefied heights of the Cathedral Close down to the coalface of ordinary urban and rural parishes. Acts and Omissions reveals a world shot through the shoe. Acts and Omissions reveals a word. Acts and Omissions, name of the book, reveals a world shot through with grace, but one where even the best intentioned err and stray, and occasionally do those things which they ought not to have done. So there you go. I actually, I mean, I may have poo-pooed them slightly when I was talking about the last one because not a huge fan of anything religious, really, any religion. But I can, I reckon they'll be quite good, actually. I can see them being quite good. Right, slight left turn. The Book Lovers Anthology, a treasure trove of apt quotations from more than 250 authors such as Shakespeare, Swift and Ruskin. And it is literally just an anthology of book excerpts and quotes and things. And I just thought, a bit like you do with poetry and things, this would be a great thing to have to dip into. And I have a little book that I got in a secondhand shop years ago, and it's tiny, and it's called the Shakespeare Birthday Book. And it's a little diary. It's essentially a little year diary, and for every date, there's a little Shakespeare quote. And so I think the idea is that you put in your friends' and family's birthdays, so you know when they are, and the person that had it before me had put a few in, so there are a few random people's birthdays in it, which is kind of cute, but I didn't buy it to use. I bought it because it was cute. And I think the idea is that when that person's birthday is up, you can write the little Shakespeare quote in their birthday card or whatever and look really intelligent. I suppose it would only work 1 year unless you just started picking other random ones. But I quite like it as an idea because most people don't know what to write in birthday cards. I hate birthday cards. Just putting it out there. I think they're a real... I like the idea. Let people know you're thinking of them on their birthday. But I just find them a real pressure. Because when are you allowed to take them down? Because if people are giving you birthday cards, you put them up on your birthday. When are you allowed to take that down? Can you literally take it down at the end of the day? Or do you have to keep them up? And then if you keep them up, how long is it acceptable to keep them up for? Because it's no longer your birthday. And then they're just sort of sat there. Christmas, you see, is nice and easy. They go up when you get them and they come down when you bring down all your decorations. But birthday cards and similar, I don't think you can just get to the end of the day and go, right, that's it, thank you very much. Take them all off, stick them in the recycling, can you? So I find them a bit pressuring. Just me, maybe. But there we go. But I suppose still a birthday card is better than writing on somebody's Facebook wall. Which I never do anymore because you now get emails reminding you it's people's birthdays and a specific link that lets you write on their Facebook page to say happy birthday. So it kind of feels like you may as well just schedule them all at the beginning of the year so that it automatically does it for you because there is about as much effort in it as that. But again, if it's the only way you've got of contacting people, it's lovely. And I know that not everybody... only writes on somebody's wall on their birthday because they're told to by Facebook. But anywho, that's going off topic quite seriously. Hey! This is the latest Agatha Raisin. I had this in paperback. I had this in hardback and it sold. So I got the paperback. Agatha Raisin Hot to Trot. So that is the most recent one. So I'm quite excited by that. A high society wedding, a glitzy masked ball, and an introduction to the world of international show jumping, where the riders are glamorous, the horses are beautiful, and intrigue runs deep. Leave Agatha with a list of suspects as long as a stallion's tail. So there you go. Another Katie Ford. Is this the Scottish one? Yes. He was the one who got away, the young man with whom Caro had spent one magical evening in Greece and whom she'd never forgotten. Now, years later, they've met once more in a beautiful old house in Scotland. So Caro is falling for him all over again. But will this be the summer he falls in love with her? Love, second chances, wedding preparations, and the promise of happy endings lie at the heart of this new novel by Katie Ford. Now, it's not new. It's from a little while ago, I believe. But I had to get it because it's in Scotland. Oh, only last year. And again, if you want a book plate with her signature on for that, if I have any when you buy it, you can just ask. This looked really interesting. This is a little bit more serious literature, maybe. It's not Agatha Raisin. This is about... It's written. It's fiction. It's written. it's about a homeless girl who gets invited to work for like a yuppie company to get her off the streets, and it all goes a bit, yeah. Maya is homeless. When her sight is raised by ruthless authorities, she's detained. Oh, you've gone dark again. Why has that changed? When her sight is raised by ruthless authorities, she's detained. But then Maya is given a lifeline, a chance to re-enter society. A tech company, angling to raise its philanthropic profile, offers her a job and a flat. There's one caveat. She must document her progress on Instagram to show that anyone can be productive and perfect. Yet Maya realises that sickness is a kind of revolution. With other outcasts, she starts a movement. Billboards promoting wellness are defaced all over London, and her media feed is flooded with obscene, filthy images. Suddenly, questions arise about the forces unleashed: liberation and madness, protest and anarchy, rebellion and chaos. A darkly comic and profoundly affecting novel about resistance, radicalism, and redemption. I thought that sounded really fascinating. It's it's difficult to talk about when I'm in sort of Agatha Raisin mode, but that sounded really interesting to me. I have a couple of copies of it, and I don't know why really, but I think the idea of the perfect Instagram life and this desire to make everybody productive and for productivity to be seen as like the golden egg in life. There's especially at the moment, actually. I mean, if you think about it, coming out of this pandemic, I read a very interesting article the other day actually that said coming out of this pandemic, there's going to be two kinds of people. There's going to be the ones that have basically spent the last year not doing anything, who are going to feel like they're forced to catch up, and so are going to rush at 100 miles an hour to catch up what they lost. And then there's going to be the people that spent the last year not doing anything, or seemingly not doing anything, who actually have realized that they don't need as much. They don't need to be doing as much in life. And I think, if anything, I would hope that that is the way that we would go. I've always been somebody that can recognize the spaces in my life and embrace them. That's why I spend so much time in my coffee shops. Because I go, right, what do I actually have to get done today? Have I got time to go and get a cup of coffee? And I do. And I'm quite happy with that, and I'm quite comfortable with that. And I don't sit there most of the time saying I should really be doing X, Y, and Z. And I think that's really important. And I think we've been taught before the lockdowns and the pandemic, we were taught that unless you are doing, you are missing out or getting behind. And so many people spend so much time filling all of the gaps, finding things for themselves to be doing when you don't necessarily need to, in order to maintain this sense of being busy. Because if you're not being busy, then you're either wasting time or you're not achieving your full potential. And I don't think that's right. So I'm hoping that what will happen is that people will realize there are gaps in life and there are gaps in your day, and you don't have to fill them, and you still manage to get everything finished or everything done or enough done without needing to have 2 minutes. What can I fill it with? And I'm hoping that social media will reflect that. However, I am starting to see more and more posts from the hustle gurus again. And I think that's, personally, I think that's really unhealthy. Because not always, I think the days of if you just work hard enough, you can achieve anything. I don't think that is possible anymore. I think it might have been for a while, but I think the amount of red tape and bureaucracy and the way that the world is now structured, I don't think it is a case of if you just hustle hard enough, you can achieve anything. I don't think you can. I think unless you have a certain set of, it's not even skills, because you can have all the skill in the world, but if you don't have access to the money to get things off the ground, it's never going to happen. But it's not just money. It's accessibility. It's even just being taken seriously. And there are many times when, if you are a woman, or you are a woman of a certain age, or you are a fat woman, or you are a person of colour, or you are a young person or an old person, or somebody who's not fully abled, or pretty much anything, then you're not taken seriously, and you just can't get it off the ground, regardless of what it is. God, I'm rambling this morning, aren't I? I should just focus on the books and stop shooting the shit about God knows what. There's more Agatha Raisin. Let's get back on that. Love from Hell. Love, like hell, is a 4-letter word for Agatha. No happily ever after for her. I think maybe I should just pull these books out and go and put them on a shelf and be sensible and stop talking, because I'm not doing very well. Right, I have more copies of that Rose Petal Summer, the Katie Ford, the one that is up here, from last summer that was printed, and the other one was printed this year. So I have a few. So if you're looking for those, that's good. Unseen Things Above. This is another of the Linchester series. In Unseen Things Above, we rejoin our friends in the diocese as they address themselves to the labyrinthine process of appointing Bishop Paul's replacement. When they aren't arguing about love and marriage, that is. Should Jane renounce her feminist orthodoxy and marry the manly archdeacon? Could Father Ed defy the House of Bishops and marry Neil? And how many hearts will start a-trembling when the gorgeous but volatile Freddie May returns to the Cathedral Close? So there you go. Only a couple more, and then I will go away and leave you alone, and you don't have to listen to my witterings anymore. Haha! Wintering! This is a beautiful book. Actually, look at that. And it's got a lovely cover on it. It's all feely. Look, that's beautiful. This one. Wintering is a poignant and comforting meditation on the fallow periods of life, times when we must retreat to care for and repair ourselves. Catherine May thoughtfully shows us how to come through these times with the wisdom of knowing that, like the seasons, our winters and summers are the ebb and flow of life. So yeah, this is another one. I've been pondering on these ideas about doing and not doing, and having both in your life, and I thought that looked interesting, and it's gorgeous. Look at that. So there's that one. The Scoop. This is about ice cream, I think. Casey Jones's life is a mess. Her job bores her, her parents confuse her, and she has repeated nightmares about her ex-girlfriend. In a moment of madness, she packs in her job and plans an adventure with her school friend, longtime lad, Danny. What she didn't plan for was an extra passenger in the shape of Danny's estranged 12-year-old son, Ari, who has troubles of his own. The three of them are thrown together for an intense roller coaster ride in Alice, a converted bright pink ice cream van, through some of the most beautiful and dangerous places in the world, from Tulse Hill to Tibet. I thought that sounded quite fun, actually. I thought it was a little bit different. I quite fancy reading that myself. And it's nice to have queer characters. We need a bit more of that. And last one. This is a picture book. You can't read the title. It's a no money day. This I thought was really necessary at the moment, actually. So this is a picture book about a mum who basically can't afford, goes to the food bank, I think. And it's just a very gentle exploration of the mum's really embarrassed about going to the food bank because she hasn't got enough money. And the child finds ways to make it okay, but without, it just teaches that actually it's okay and everything is okay. And you don't have to. My mum works really hard and knows lots of fun things to do that don't cost any money, but when there's nothing left in the cupboards, we have to go to the food bank. Maybe one day things will be different. But it's just a very gentle, way of introducing the idea that actually, no, you don't always have everything, but actually it's okay. And things will hopefully get better, and you don't have to be ashamed of the fact that you can't quite cope at the moment, because a lot of people can't. And I thought that was a really useful thing to have because it's important to explain it to children and not just hide struggles from kids. Right, I have gone on for half an hour again. And I think, again, I've told you no prices. $6.99 for that one, which I thought was good. The Wintering book is $9.99. These beautiful ones about the homeless girl that ends up on Instagram are $16.99 because they're hardbacks. I just really think that's going to be a really interesting read. I'm going to read that myself. And I think that's probably why I got it, because I thought it was very interesting. The Agatha Raisins, we all know, are $8.99. Scoop is $8.99. The Linchester series. Why do none of these books have prices on them? Going to have to look it up, but it's going to be roughly the same because they're paperbacks. The Katie Fords are $8.99, and I won't charge you any extra for the book plate. It's just first come, first serve. Book Lovers Anthology is $9.99. That's a good price for that. No, literally none of these Linchester books have a price on them. Buddhism for Sheep, which is the important one, and we all know that's the important one. That's $7.99 for that. The other Katie Ford is $8.99. Kate and Clara's Curious Craft Shop, $7.99. The Cherry Tree Cafe, $8.99. Okay, let's do Your Stupid Idea, which I think will be really interesting. That's a non-fiction. That's $12.99. Right, have you got a price on you? No. $8.99 for the other Katie Ford, and the Maya Angelou is $9.99. I'm sorry this unboxing has been a little bit scattergun. As I'm trying to restock, you can see I'm starting to put things on the shelves behind, because this is going to be my little book nook from when we reopen. So I will be a bookshop within a music shop and extra. It's taking a long time to do all the orders and to get all the books in, as you can imagine. And as you put things in, some things aren't available at the time, and so they get put on back order. So what they do is they just throw them in with others. So as you can probably tell, there's bits and bobs of about 4 different orders there. When I put the orders in, it's all rational and it all makes sense, and they're all of a type. But when they come out, they're not. So sometimes I get a little bit. But that's fine. They're all lovely in their own way. Okay, I'm going to go. If you want any of these, you know where you can get hold of us. You can find us on Facebook at Fulham Music and Books. You can give us a call on Monday to Friday 10 till 4, 01540 664 940. You can find me on Instagram at Among the Bookshelves. You can comment under here if you really want to, although it's not very easy to get back to you here. So maybe don't do that. But do leave a comment, even if it's telling me how terrible my outfits are. I think I've given everything, because last video I didn't even remember to give you any details at all. And I shall talk to you all again soon. Okay, bye.